Hello, in this video I'll just go through creating our different layouts for our different electrical wiring plans and also how to show the different plans on their different layouts. So this is a student's example of something that they submitted. So this has, at the moment we're seeing all of the electrical information. We have lighting, we have security, we have sockets, some low voltage stuff somewhere, I think. So, and you'll see from this example that the sockets have been drawn different to what we would normally do in New Zealand. Normally they would be around the other way. That's fine. You do what you've got. Don't change them because you're looking at this being different. And don't change your plan. This is just an example to show you creating the layout. So our template should already have one layout. And so if we go to that layout, excuse me, we're looking at the moment, and it depends on what yours looks like, but this is at the moment in paper space. And my viewport is normal, it's not highlighted. If I click on the word paper, it'll change to model. This is now highlighted. I'm now working with the information from model space through my viewport window. So we want to line it up where it should be, and then we want to choose an accurate scale. And then while we're here, while we have the viewport highlighted, we want to choose what layers we want to show. Now, most examples would probably have this shown as one of the layouts, an example of all the electrical stuff all in one place. So let's just leave that. And now we want to make a new layout. We'll talk about the title block separately. So yeah, I won't go over that now. So I now want to create a new layout. There's different options of doing that. We can click the wee plus. That will create a layout from scratch, meaning we've got to set the page size, portrait versus landscape potentially. We've got to set the size of the viewport layout, and we've got to insert a title block. What I recommend you do, or what I prefer to do, is to copy a layout that we already have. And this then goes back to the title block. If you fill in the basic information first before you copy it, it saves you having to fill in as much as you go through. So right mouse click on layout 1, move or copy. I want to put it before this one I don't need, and I want to create a copy. Okay. And so now we have two layouts that look exactly the same. So my new one now, I'll double click down here and change it so that it just says layout 2. And then double click back inside our viewport so that it's highlighted. And now I can proceed to turn on and off the layers on the viewport. So if we go up to the layer toolbar, we have already been talking about the little light bulb turning layers on and off, but that is a global setting. So if we turn a layer off, it is off for all of the layouts, model space, everything. What we're focused on here is turning layers on and off just for a viewport. And so that's where we need this viewport option here. And you can see there when I hover over it, freeze or thaw and current viewport. The viewport has to be highlighted, it has to be active at the time. So if I want to start and have lighting first, that would then mean I want to turn off everything else. So I'm going to freeze all of the other electrical layers. I have not turned it off. I have just frozen it for this particular viewport. So we've got the electrical lights still okay. And there you can see I'm going to now click outside of the viewport. So we go back to paper space, and then I can zoom in without changing the scale. And you can see there that now we are just showing the lighting plan on this layer. And now you could change your title block to reflect that this is the lighting plan. So then I go back, and now I'm going to copy layout number 2 because it already has a bunch of stuff frozen, move or copy, and this time I'll move it to just prior to this one we don't really use or not using. Create a copy, go to there, double click down here again, change that to layout 3, double click inside, layers, I want this one to be power, so freeze the lights and then Thor power. Double click back outside, again we can zoom in, we can see this now has the power layer. Okay, and at this point I could actually say, okay, I don't actually want to use that to print A4, so I'm going to right click on that and choose to delete it. So I've actually now only got the layouts that I need. And so you can go through creating the layouts that you want. Now I've just had lighting and the power on 2 layers by themselves. It may not be that way. You might have lighting and security together, or you might have the power and the security together, or something. You don't necessarily have to have one layer per layout. You might have a layout that has a couple of layers on the same layout. So if I double click in there, I'm not sure what else I would normally have on electrical appliances. So let's turn that back on for our power. Okay, so the freeze or thaw in the current viewport is what we use to show our layers on different. If we go back to this one, it's still going to show our lighting only. If we go back to this one, it's got everything. Okay, and then the last thing is printing our PDF, and we want to print one PDF file that has all of our layouts in it. So to do that, we want to do a batch plot. Batch plot. And the other word there is publish. We want to choose PDF. We want to publish it to a PDF. We don't need to include the model space, so we will select that and click the wee minus. If you have other extra layers in here, layouts in here that you don't need, again, you would just select those and remove them. We only want to have our end result layouts in here. We're going to print the PDF just showing the layouts that are necessary, and that'll be your legend, power pole, workshop, the house, all those things that are required in the document. And then we can just click publish. Because it's a PDF, we need to stick it somewhere. I'm just going to quickly choose desktop. Don't do that. You need to stick it in your OneDrive somewhere. Do we want to save the list? That is just saving this list. I don't usually worry about it because it's not that hard to do. It's now publishing. And the wee print icon down in the bottom right-hand corner will show it's moving. It's creating our job. It'll take a few minutes to complete. Okay, over that. Okay, it's now doing layout 3 of 3. It's finished. There it is. And so we have one PDF file with our 3 layouts. Yours will obviously have more, and your title block will be filled in correctly. Okay, that's the end of our video on viewport layers and batch plotting.